Peggy 18.
Hey everybody, this is
Random Dave.
welcome to the episode of It Came from
Nintendo Direct.
Okay, listeners, I've got a game here for you. This was a surprise announcement in the latest Nintendo Direct. Pretty good Nintendo Direct, all things considered. We had Link to the Past not Link to the Past, Link's Awakening remake. Later on we got some juicy Pokemon info in a second Direct, but this was a game that dropped, and I would have liked to have made something for the last month's show, but hey, it was a pretty long show with it being the anniversary, but also I had lent my Switch out, so my friend had that, I had to get it back. But I've got it back and I've been playing it, and this is some good shit, which is why I'm sharing it with you, even though it's potentially a bit of a trigger for the retro police, but it's, you know, this is a game that's deeply got its roots in some retro games. I mean, well, pretty much every console's had it at this point, and there's plenty of arcade coin-ups. It's more on that later. So you probably know what it is already, but I'm going to get into it, and then you'll be able to guess from the music, I would imagine, as soon as that starts up. So it's just loading now. Give it a little second. Nearly there, nearly there. Come on. Surely you must know what this is, unless you've been living in a cave. You ready? Not long now. That's right, it is of course Tetris 99. And what this is at its base level is a 99 player version of Tetris, but this is essentially Nintendo's introduction as a company, wait, I'm trying to think, to the Battle Royale genre, and because of that there are various things you need to know. I've cocked this up already. About how it works. So it's not just a case of play. You know, this is competitive Tetris. There's 99 players, but rather than just you sort of scoring lines and then that sending garbage to, you know, one player, or I can't remember how the 4-player versions. They probably all handled it a little bit differently. Things like Puyo Puyo Tetris. And some of the other more modern Tetris games, they've had 4 players. I don't know how it shares the garbage, whether it just randomly assigns it or it weights it maybe to rubber band it so that people who are struggling don't get the garbage. But this gives you some degree of control over who you like to pass your garbage to, who you'd like to aim it at. Turns out playing Tetris well and talking at the same time is not the easiest thing to do in the world. So you just heard the robot guy there, robot voice, say KO. That is because I have KO'd someone. There's a couple of ways you can target people. You can do a really fine-grained targeting by using the left analog stick or the touchscreen, and this allows you to select, actually individually select people. Sorry, I'm about to die here. But I've got it set to KO mode, which will start to target people who are close to a KO. Pretty self-explanatory. And then, so where it also, I fucked that up. I should have just used my Tetris block that I had in store. I can talk a bit now while this carries on playing out. So I came 55th, not great. hopefully we'll do better in a minute when I'm not talking so much. So yeah, the Battle Royale aspect of it, so that noise there plays whenever it gets down to the last 50, so obviously, and I think the music speeds up, amps up the tension. Every time you get a KO, you get a badge, or a piece of a badge, and as you build up these pieces of badges, it gives you a multiplier on your garbage quota that you're sending out. So much like a Battle Royale game where it's all very well just sort of surviving to the last few players, if you don't have good loot, good items, you are going to get fucked in the last top 10. And the same is true here. If you get to the top 10 and you've not KO'd anyone, you've got no badges, you are going to get absolutely bollocksed, because on the left it shows the build-up of garbage that's been thrown towards you, and you can make lines and knock that garbage out before it arrives. So if you've got opponents with lots of badges and that they've acquired, they're sending out loads of lines with bonuses, you're going to get a lot of shit to have to deal with before you can even start making lines that will then count as garbage to be sent to other people. So that puts you at a big disadvantage. The other way to get badges is if you kill someone with badges, you get their badges back. So there's 4 automated targeting modes. One is just random, which I don't know what it does, whether it weights it at all. There's a bit of speculation, but for all intents and purposes, it just picks random people to send it to. Not ideal because it changes constantly, so you can't perform a sustained attack on someone if you've got a Tetris plus a Tetris combo lined up, which is pretty killer. It's going to send the first Tetris garbage to someone, and then it's going to send the second Tetris garbage to a different player. This means what could have been a KO against someone, you've just squandered, and you've just sort of distributed it evenly across a couple of players. So that's less than ideal. What are the other ones? So yeah, there's KOs, which is what I tend to use a lot of the time. It will aim for people who will got their stacks pretty high, and we'll try and knock them out and use some badges. There is the randoms. There's badges, so you're focusing only on people. Well, yeah, only on people with quite a lot of badges. So there's a slight bug with the Switch Pro controller that I've just experienced, where pressing left will also enter an up command, and you will end up doing a hard drop, which is a bit of a bummer. But hey, I'm not playing my best anyway because I'm trying to talk to you guys. What else we got? We got attackers. So the UI on screen draws lines so around your Tetris well, because that doesn't take up that much of a wide a 16 by 9 screen. You've got all the other 99 boards in play around the outside of the screen, and that's obviously then also if you're doing a manual selection mode for attacking people, that would be how you would choose them, by selecting them on that display. So from each person that for whatever reason is targeting you, the UI draws a line from them to the bottom of your screen and gives you a watch out warning. If you choose the attackers mode, it will focus on all the people that are aiming at you. I need to clear some garbage that's coming my way. So that is quite fun sometimes, because you can end up with some really sort of pitch back and forth because you're cancelling out the garbage as well as sending them garbage. Oh Christ, I'm not playing very well. So that I didn't make the top 50 again. That time was even worse at 65. Sorry, I've just thrown cookie in my mouth, which was a bit stupid. So typically I've been getting, I'd say, top 30 to top 10, and I've broke sort of top 10 to top 5 a couple of times. Third's my highest so far. I don't know whether it was a bit easier early on, when it was new. Not many people, well, you know, there was a bit of a rush anyway to get on it, but I think before then, you know, a lot of the Grandmasters weren't quite there. Now it's kind of filtering out. So yeah, essentially, you know, it's Tetris. It's multiplayer Tetris. So it's all about garbage, sending garbage to other players, but also, you know, minimising the amount of garbage that's going to stack up on you. Playing fast, playing for combos. So your combos have the usual multipliers for garbage that you get in the Tetris rule set. You've also got people, as the more people that are attacking you, targeting you, that it gives you a combo multiplier as well. So that's quite nice. If lots of people are attacking you, you don't need to keep waiting to focus on just doing Tetrises to try and maximise the effect. Obviously, if you were really good, you'd be doing T-spins as well. But you can, if you've got loads of people attacking you, you can do singles and doubles, and the multiplier will add up enough that it will help you out quite nicely. So yeah, what else is there? So modern Tetris rules that they've taken. You've got hard drops, you've got ghost pieces, you've got holds. It uses the 7-bag randomizer, so it'll play through all 7 pieces randomly, and then it will shuffle a bag of the next, you know, the 7 pieces again and do them out. So you have a kind of a, if you've got that in the back of your mind, you've got, you know, and you've just had, say, 2 eye pieces. You know that you're not going to get any for potentially, well, at least 7 more pieces, potentially maybe even 15. Math's not good on the fly, because you'll have hit the end of the last bag and then the start of the new bag if you've got the same piece back to back. So once you know these kind of randomizers, you know, it's a bit like counting cards. You can sort of predict when you're going to get the next one along. And so these are the kind of competitive Tetris rules that have been developed, you know, and evolved over the years by the Tetris company. You know, some people don't like the hold pieces, some people don't like ghost pieces and hard drops, but this is where we're at. In terms of development, this is a game by Eureka. So this is, they made the arcade Grandmaster versions of Tetris, so they know what they're doing. Big time. They have got a pedigree with, you know, all kinds of, you know, well, tight controls for a start, but, you know, the Grandmaster versions of arcade Grandmaster versions of Tetris, well renowned. You see them a lot in Awesome Games Done Quick and speed running, because the higher levels have like invisible boards and all sorts of crazy shit, and like the master modes that sort of went into Tetris Effect, where the piece essentially they're so fast they have no drop time, so they instantly appear at the bottom of your stack, and you've got a bit of well, with this I feel like it's got infinite spin. I don't know whether there's a lock-in based on speed level, but certainly the Grandmaster and Tetris Effect Master Mode, the higher the level you were, the faster the lock-in was, so you had a bit of time to spin it and move it around the board when it had appeared there, but it would lock in. This, yeah, like I say, feels a bit like infinite spin, but that might just be that I have not spent enough time at the higher speed levels to kind of get a feel for, and you know, when I am at the higher speed levels and I'm using that technique, it's generally in a massive panic, things are going wrong, I've got 4 or 5 people targeting me, shit's flying everywhere, I'm trying to clear as much as I can, I'm in the top quarter of my board, things are not going well, so I've not really been sort of paying attention to the finer aspects of how much spin time you've got on the stack. And I think that's about it. It's a fantastic game, it's well worth the, I don't know what it is in the UK, it's what, $15-20 a year or something to join the online service for the Switch, and this is, you know, it's a free game you download, and then because you've got the online membership you can do it. With that you get also the NES game catalogue, which, you know, we've got NES games elsewhere, but the interface for the Switch NES games is quite slick, very nice the way it sort of flicks in and out, and you've got fun sort of, not quite ROM hacks, but like modified save states in some of the games like Zelda and Metroid, where it will start you off like quite near the end and with a load of equipment and gets you into the game quickly, and you can just have a bit of a laugh. But that's not the point, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Tetris 99. Comes highly recommended by me. I'm not very good at it. I was a bit disappointed after playing a lot of Tetris Effect and getting quite what I felt was, I wouldn't say quite good, but I definitely made a step up in my Tetris gameplay because of Tetris Effect over sort of previous times where I played it before. This is certainly showing me that I'm a bit kind of average still in terms of the rest of the world, but I'm still having fun. It's really quick to get into a game, to get through a game, get back into a game. My problem with sort of wanting to try and practice my Tetris gameplay, I think Tetris to a point, you've just got to keep playing at it, playing and playing and playing, put the hours in and create the neural pathways in your brain, get that pattern recognition and matching down on, to a fine art. It's, much more immediate in your brain. It gives you a chance to look at the upcoming pieces, sort out a strategy on the fly and not make so many silly mistakes. I've always struggled to do that because I've always wanted to sort of start at level 0, work my way up, blah blah blah, and I get kind of bored and don't want to keep redoing it. By the time I get to level 9, 10, 11 and die, and then I'm like, bollocks, right, start again, and then I only get a few seconds again at the higher levels. It's much quicker to get round and round and round, and the speed is not based on the number of lines, at least I don't think, it doesn't feel like it. It's based on how many people are left. So it hits level 50, klaxon plays, the music speeds up, and you get to, the game will speed up. I don't know whether there's another speed up along the way, but definitely when you then hit level 10, plays a different song, I think Flight of the Bumblebees, sort of techno version of that, and then it will be on sort of level 9 sort of speed. So that's usually my panicky speed, so that's why, level 10 when shit's going, there's less people, so you're getting much more garbage percentage wise, and the speed's gone up and I'm doing badly by then, and I also get a bit like edgy because I'm like, whoa, I'm in the top 10. That's when it all starts to go pretty wrong, but yeah, it's a pretty amazing feeling. It's a really good game. Everyone should check it out if you've got a Switch and you don't mind paying $15 a year for a bit of online capability and some NES games. So that's it. I don't know how long this has been. Probably longer. Bloody hell, 17 minutes or something. Whew, that's more of a section than I thought. I will shut up now and speak to you soon in another segment. Bye bye.
Retro Gaming Roundup.